is Olivia.
And I'm Amanda.
Welcome to the ENN, the Educational News Network, bringing you all the latest educational findings for today's school districts. Today's topic will be something that most educators don't realize brings educational benefits to their classrooms: recess.
For decades, recess has been an essential part of the school day for children. Think back to when you were a child and how important recess was to your school day. It's a time to be outside, organize your own games, play on the playground equipment, jump rope, investigate nature, or to simply hang out with your friends. Schools have begun decreasing recess time in hopes of raising academic scores.
We talked with a couple of students to see what their thoughts were on recess. This is what they had to say.
What's your name and what grade are you in?
Joe, second.
How old are you?
7.
William Gorman in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Peyton and I'm in 3rd grade.
Do you like recess?
Yes,
Why?
because it helps you get your mind off learning.
Yes.
Why do you like it?
Well, I like it just because it's where you can have fun.
So, how would you feel if recess was taken away from you?
Very, very, very mad
And why would you feel mad?
because I really like recess. Really, really sad.
Why?
Because I really, really like recess.
Well, I'd feel sad because then I wouldn't get to see my friends and it would be hard to focus.
The article, Recess, It's Indispensable, says since the late 1980s, schools have begun cutting back on recess. With the passage of the No Child Left Behind Act in 2001, more schools have begun cutting back recess or completely eliminating it from the school day. Some schools have cut back on recess because administrators believe their school's test scores will improve if they spend more time on schoolwork. Others fear lawsuits from playground injuries. On the other hand, the side in favor of recess believes that recess plays a crucial role in the school day because it can actually increase academic achievement. They say that decreasing or eliminating recess leads to lower academic achievement.
The question is, does cutting recess really lead to an improvement in students' academic achievements? We have found that recess brings many benefits to students, including social, emotional, physical, and cognitive benefits. We will even cover some studies that have been conducted in the Texas area.
First, let's talk about the social-emotional benefits of recess.
First, recess has many social emotional benefits on school children. According to researcher Olga Jarrett, who did a study on recess at Georgia State University, the playground during recess is one of the few places where today's children can actively confront, interpret, and learn from meaningful social experience. Everything children do at recess involves them developing socially. Just a few of the things children learn at recess are respect for rules, self-discipline, control of aggression, developing problem-solving and planning strategies, practicing leadership, and associating with children that are different from them. One of the problems that some parents and educators have with recess is that they believe that a lot of bullying happens during recess. In reality, very little negative behavior is displayed during recess. Because children at play during recess have the opportunity to run free and choose what activities they do and don't participate in, bullying and negative behavior is decreased significantly. Many also believe that students can play just like they do at recess in a classroom setting, but classroom settings are less open, which sometimes causes children to feel trapped in an activity and act out when they cannot leave the game. Recess outside provides them with the opportunity to remove themselves from negative situation and practice self-control and self-regulation. Recess is also a very important opportunity for children to have student-to-student interactions. With all of the pressure schools are under now to get high standardized test scores, recess is sometimes the only way children can interact with each other. Many classrooms now do not allow for much time for children to interact with each other openly, and some children do not get a lot of child-to-child interaction at home, so recess is their only shot. Recess allows children a time to make decisions. Many people against recess believe that students can get exactly what they need from recess during physical education class. But physical education doesn't provide children with the choices that recess does, which is an important aspect in children developing socially. By making choices on who they want to play with and what they want to play, children socially develop a sense of self through the choices they make and during their free play. Recess also provides help to children with behavioral disorders. During research done in an urban Boston school, children with challenging behavior issues made dramatic improvements in their behavior socially over the year because of having play partners at recess. These children were able to practice their social skills and work through issues with their aggression and decision-making skills.
Let's look at the cognitive benefits of recess.
This quote is from a pediatrician from Ohio State University, and he says, "If you want a child to be attentive and stay on task, and also if you want them to encode the information you're giving them in their memory, you've got to give them regular breaks." This shows us that in order for kids to learn, they need an unstructured break to process the information, or else who really knows how much they're really learning or processing. Here you can see brain scans of students while taking a test. It compares those who had any sort of physical activity prior to taking the test to those who did not. As you can see, the students who participated in physical activity, anything just as simply walking around, had more brain activity than those who didn't. This can also correlate with learning. When you're using more of the brain during learning, it takes in more information and you can process more. This unstructured play that we call recess has many positive impacts on students. First, you'll see an increase in their social skills. They are able to practice these skills on the playground when interacting with other students. They will also seem less distracted in class. They'll be more likely to pay attention to you and stay on task. Also, they'll have an increase in eye contact. They will look right at you and they'll stay engaged during class. They will also tattle less on their classmates. They'll put their focus onto learning instead of finding other ways of distracting themselves. You'll also see an increase in participation. The kids are more likely to raise their hand and be engaged in learning. This unstructured play is very helpful to kids who have hyperactivity. This gives them a chance to get their energy out and play and run on the playground and do whatever they need to do so that when it's time to come back inside after recess, they're ready to be focused and learn. Brain breaks are very important. As you can see from this quote below, even adults need built-in breaks in their schedules to promote mental alertness. An increase of maturity of the nervous system comes from these brain breaks. This will lead to a higher level of cognitive tasks, which then has a decrease in cognitive interference thanks to things such as recess or these unstructured play for children. Because of this decrease in cognitive inference in this high level of cognitive tasks, it'll lead us to an increase in levels of academic achievement in the school systems for children. In school, a child's attention will also suffer if they don't get breaks. Something such as a change in scenery would help to maintain attention and regain focus. Students need time to recycle chemicals needed for long-term memory formation. These chemicals make up the neural networks in the brain, which is made up of neurons that work together through synapse. As children learn more, these neural networks are changed and strengthened by the information that they take in. After continued use, the stronger connection of the synapse forms. In the end, this will send nerve impulses along neural circuits to the visual and auditory cortex of the brain. Students' attention will increase if done in cycles. The best way to do this is in 90 to 110-minute patterns throughout the day. After this, give them some sort of brain break, such as jumping up and down, walking around the room, checking in with a partner, anything to give them their brain a break from learning.
Let's talk about the physical benefits of recess.
For many children, recess is the highlight of their day. But recess is not just a set-aside time for children's enjoyment and a break for teachers. Along with cognitive and social aspects that recess plays in children's development, recess helps with students becoming more physically fit. Physical benefits of recess include muscle strength, muscle endurance, cardiovascular improvements, as well as skeletal health. Physical activity is a key component in helping the students with brain health as well. Brain research advantages have shown us that physical activity actually activates most of the brain, which can't be said during sedentary activity. Movement not only increases the capacity, but is also thought to possibly expand the number of blood vessels and also repair blood vessels quicker throughout the body. These extra blood vessels help to expedite the delivery of oxygen, water, and glucose, otherwise known as brain food, which allows the brain to work more efficiently and be able to perform better. The brain's efficiency of moving blood and oxygen throughout the body is much greater after physical activity. There has been a direct correlation to higher test scores for students that are physically fit rather than students that live a more sedentary lifestyle. A physiological benefit that recess helps in that often goes under the radar is the benefits of sunlight. When children are outside at recess receiving natural light, their body is actually synthesizing vitamin D the entire time they are playing. Vitamin D has a multitude of biological benefits that help the students in the classroom. Natural light has been found to be beneficial to help the production of white blood cells for our immune system, which helps fight off diseases and sickness. Sunlight increases the oxygen content in human blood, which enhances the body's capacity to deliver oxygen to the tissues. The sun has a great effect on stamina, fitness, and muscular development. The Let's Move, Get Active campaign, started by Michelle Obama in 2010, set the goal for children to get 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity daily. This campaign was put in place to help with the growing concerns of raising body mass index in children and the growing obesity rates. As of now, all but 4 states in the United States have over 10% of the population of their students physically obese, and this number is trending upwards. The CDC, Center for Disease and Control Prevention, has monitored obesity and recently included recess activity as a positive preventative measure for childhood obesity, childhood diabetes, and other future cardiovascular diseases. While physical education is doing its best to help with the growing body mass concerns, time for PE in public schools is lessening year by year due to other curriculum demands of other classes. Public school physical education time is averaging 75 to 90 minutes weekly, making recess even more important to help fill the recommended daily 60 minutes. Recess can be taken advantage to help students burn calories. Dr. Stravola Austrian has been the head director of children's clinical exercise research at Harvard, which has been closely monitoring body mass index in children. He claims, "We don't really take advantage of recess right now in terms of helping keep kids' weight off. If they're playing more games with short bouts of high-level energy and physical activity, they could be expanding up to 200 calories each day. That can make a big difference in preventing extra weight gain for many children." While 200 calories may not seem all that overwhelming, throughout the course of one academic school year in Iowa, this would be 36,000 calories burned during recess time. Recess has a great impact on helping students value physical activity. Recess is a free time that students can choose the activity they want to participate in. This creates an intrinsic motivation and love for that type of physical activity. Students can experiment with a variety of activities to find out what they truly have a passion for. It is important for students to want to participate in activities that they can continue outside of school hours to further enhance physical fitness. Valuing physical fitness puts kids on their feet for longer and less time sitting down inside.
A closer look at Eagle Mountain Elementary School in Texas.
There are many schools in Texas decreasing recess time, but some schools are a part of a project that increased recess time. An article published in today's Parents discusses the benefits more recess has on kindergartners and first graders of Eagle Mountain Elementary School in Texas. Eagle Mountain Elementary is one of 4 public schools in the Fort Worth area to implement this new recess program. They are part of the LINK program, which increases recess to 4 15-minute sessions a day. The students experience 2 breaks before lunch and 2 breaks after lunch. This gives the students 3 times more recess and 3 more breaks than they previously had. Debbie Ray, a kinesiology professor at Texas Christian University, designed this project after visiting the schools in Finland while on her sabbatical in 2012. Ray wanted to observe what Finnish schools were doing differently to consistently be near the top in international education rankings. What she found was that students were receiving multiple breaks throughout the day for unstructured outdoor play. This Finnish school gave Ray the idea to start this LINK project and model schools in Texas after the Finnish schools. This program was first implemented in 2 private schools and is looking to expand to more schools in Texas, a school in Oklahoma, and charter schools in Minneapolis and Utah. Additionally, school districts in California and Pennsylvania have expressed interest. In the NPR article, teachers say they have seen a huge transformation in their students with this new recess implementation. The students are less distracted, they make more eye contact, and they tattle less. And most surprisingly, they're actually using their pencils for the way they were designed. Wells and her fellow first grade teacher, Donna McBride, have 6 decades of teaching between them, and they say this year feels different. The teachers were nervous about this new project of adding extra recess. They weren't sure how they would fit in all the basics, but they are actually ahead of schedule halfway through the year.
To see just how limited recess was in some areas of Texas, we asked Dr. Montgomery, a professor on the UNI campus, if she could share her knowledge about recess with us. During an interview with Dr. Montgomery, she told us, some schools already have limited recess and also do not allow talking during lunch. There are a lot of negative impacts when it comes to not allowing students to interact with one another. She said, at lunch, teachers want the children to be quiet. This takes away time they can speak with their peers and learn how to interact socially. The only other time they are really allowed to socialize in today's schools is during recess. Additionally, she said, students practice skills at recess that will help them throughout their entire lives, like self-regulation and self-control. In the future, if students aren't given an opportunity to learn these skills, they could get in trouble later in life. They need to learn how to self-regulate by 3rd or 4th grade. Children who don't learn how to properly socialize are often those who become incarcerated. Proper self-regulation will help children learn how to spend their money. In her professional development class, students were asked to read a kid-watching book, which shows how important talk is to the development of children. Those children who engage in talk are more successful later on because they can build their vocabulary. Through talk, children learn to collaborate with one another and are able to create games at recess. We had also asked if she could refer us to any information on Texas's recess situation. One of her previous students responded with their experience, saying that due to the standardized test, STAR, which all public schools in Texas are required to take, recess is oftentimes reduced. In Aldine, Texas, teacher accountability is based on this test, so teachers often skip their designated recess times, especially in months leading up to this. In Aldine, students do not receive any recess district-wide, but 2 recesses a week, and any more than that depends on what the principal feels appropriate for each grade level. Another respondent said that the only school they were at had 20 to 25 minutes of recess, but if the students misbehaved during class, they would have to do their homework and lose recess. They would have to sit there while other students were playing around them, and unfortunately, the teachers didn't help the students when they didn't understand their work. Basically, students were punished for not understanding material. Both of these respondents were concerned with how upsetting a decrease in recess is to watch and the many issues behind decreasing recess time in schools. So, what can your school do to raise the importance of recess and make it as beneficial as possible for your students?
First, you should provide about an hour of recess throughout the day, broken up into 15 to 20-minute breaks. These shorter breaks will allow the students to be more focused when they return to the classroom. Providing children with an hour of recess helps them reach their 60 minutes of physical activity needed in a day.
Secondly, recess should remain unstructured to allow the children to practice decision-making skills, practice leadership, and develop their self-image.
Third, don't take away recess as a form of punishment. Oftentimes, the kids that you take away recess from are the ones that need it the most. This should not be used as a time for students to catch up on work because they don't receive their well-needed breaks.
Fourth, don't replace recess with more PE time. The students aren't given the opportunity of choice during PE like they are during recess.
Lastly, make sure your principals and administration are promoting the development and maintenance of appropriately supervised free play for children. It is important for the entire school district to be on the same page about the need for recess.
Thanks for watching this edition of ENN. I hope you'll remember these positive aspects of recess and be sure to talk to your district about the importance of recess during the school day.
Love recess and bye.